hand elsewhere. His head is in the clouds, but his feet are firmly on the ground. This is him doing a bit of both.
It's somewhat strange. Once you've started, you get like addicted to it. You just live it, you know, like day and night. Think about it, talk about it. This particular job, I've got the contract for £7,000 to knock it down a brick at once, right down to the bottom. When I first came to Luke, bitter cold morning, the wind howling down off the mountains, you know, and I thought, ugh, you know, how come they always send for me in the middle of winter? Anyway, I'd have told the powers that be, like, you know, that I want £7,000, you see. And I didn't think I'd get the job, you know. Anyway, it turned out that they honoured me with giving it me, which means that the other fellas wanted a hell of a lot more, you know. The reason for the price were I didn't really want the job. Like, if it had have been a repair job, which, you know, on average takes, what, a month, 5 weeks, it's not so bad. But when it comes into months and months, you see, it's a bit different. Furthermore, when there's only like one of you and such a gigantic pile of bricks, you know, you've got to have a stout heart to take it on your own.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fred Dibnah. For the first chair, What are you gobbing up there? You were looking at something up there.
It's all these lights, you know. It's very bright, isn't it?
Well, you see, if we turn the lights off, they wouldn't see you at home. Oh. Well, we might as well be on the wireless then, because all they do is hear you.
No, we've done that before, though, haven't we?
Shh, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody else that. Now, let's go back a bit through your life, Fred. In the early stages, you were a cabinet maker to a peculiar gentleman. You've always done things with your hands. And you got a job. You've got quite sort of rough hands, haven't you? I've just noticed.
Well, they are now. Like, they used to be quite dainty at one time.
When you were a cabinet maker?
Yeah.
Who were you a cabinet maker to?
Oh, some old fella called William Rawlinson, who's now long gone dead.
And he was an undertaker, wasn't he?
No, you've got your facts wrong, you know. They wanted me... After I left the art school, they sent me to an undertaker's, you know, and sort of, bloody hell, you know, I looked at all these boxes and I thought, no way, you know, I got on my bike and went back to Youth Employment Bureau.
And said what?
I don't fancy that job.
And what job did you get next?
So, well, I ended up as a joiner, really, yeah. Which I did till I was 22 years old. But this interest in climbing chimneys developed, you know, from really when I was about 9 or 10 years old.
Do you remember a moment when you were walking down a street and saw a chimney and thought, you know, one day I'm going to knock that down?
Well, not knock it down, but I remember moments where I used to go to school on tram, you know. Can I smoke?
Please do, please do.
The thing is that, you know, what's fascinated me about these little fellas who looked about that big, flat caps on, stood on top of factory chimneys. And when I passed my scholarship to art school, it faded a bit away from my brain, you know, and then when I became a joiner, wandering round with my bag and my claw hammer and my saw on my back, I saw these men mending chimneys and it revitalised my interest.
And what, can you remember the first chimney you tackled?
Oh, yeah.
Were there any bright moments in that, or was it a terrifying moment?
Apart from, well, it weren't very big, you know, only about 70 foot tall, but it were right outside at main line from Manchester to Bolton. But we didn't, and all these wheels inside the railway lines with iron wires going round for the signals.
But can you go to a school for knocking down chimneys, or did you do it?
Well, they have one down south of England somewhere, but there's no good steeple jacks down there. They all come from north of England.
striking little
There's no
chords in
bloody
people's
chimneys
hearts.
down there when we had them.
Well, no, because everybody's knocked them down there, haven't they?
They never had any.
Now, you also build chimneys as well, don't you? You built a chimney on your mum's house.
Well, a small replica, like.
It's a good chimney.
Well, it's a belter, yeah. It sucks your house slippers off, you know, if you sit in front of the fire. She'll be there now, you know, watching this.
Well, those slippers have just gone up the chimney as well.
No, she has a big fire guard.
She does. what, have you been in any physical danger at all? We saw you climbing on the film at the beginning. We saw you sort of crawling up the side.
Not through mending chimneys. I've been down a big hill about 40 mile an hour on my steamroller, you know, that's quite exciting.
You're into steamrollers in a big way as well.
Oh, yeah.
You bought a steamroller or a traction engine before you actually bought...
No, I've got a steamroller, the one that, you know, people have seen on television. But I've got a traction engine now with a balanced crankshaft that when it's finished, it'll do about 20 mile an hour. You know, so I can really get about.
How do you persuade people like me who find them slightly boring? I find traction engines slightly boring.
You've never had a bloody ride on one, have you? You won't try doing... You do 20 mile on a traction engine.
I don't want to.
And, oh, my God.
I don't want to. I can think of nothing more boring than a traction engine rally on a Sunday afternoon.
Well, that's when you're there and everybody's saying, how long have you had this and how old is it? And everything's always the bloody same. It's getting there along the road in the middle of the night and calling it a pub here and a pub there.
In the middle of the night?
Well, no, till they're shut, you know. That's the thing.
Well, let's leave traction engines to one side a minute, because I'm more interested in chimneys at this moment. Do chimneys have characters? I mean, do you actually have to go... You know, like if you're making an assault upon a woman, you have to go know where to tickle it and how to persuade it and how to...
Well, you get these funny ideas, you see, that you would particularly want to have a go at one particular chimney. And the next big thing for me is that one in the middle of Darwin.
Oh, it's a beautiful... Oh, that is a beautiful...
300 feet tall.
Yeah.
And built about 1875, I think. And, like, at one time it was maintained by a very good firm from Manchester who've now gone.
Yeah.
The last time they had it done, it, you know, weren't much of a job, so there's hope for me.
Big jobs
Yeah,
do you, when you're up there on your own, do you talk to yourself?
Only about the weather. You know, like last Monday it was bloody cold.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
And you have a mate down below?
Oh, Donald, yeah. Very important man, Donald. He has the brains. Well, early on...
You shouldn't smirk so much, you know, Fred. You're coughing.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. You've got to die somewhere, haven't you?
Anyway, Donald's important, is he?
Yeah, because he has a good brain, and I can say to him, you know, I want this, that, and that one after, and this, and then that one. And he remembers all that. When it comes up on the end of the rope, it's all in the right order and tied on right rope.
Does he send your butters up as well?
Oh, no, I come down for them. If it's more than 220 foot tall, it's worth coming down for lunch. Right, if it's any higher than that,
you take it up with you. Right.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to look at a bit now of the chimney that you actually knocked down in the film, Don Howe's film, where you actually started to light a fire underneath it to get it moving, so that when the fire goes, it actually cracks the chimney and it begins to go. Here it is.
You see it moving, the stick. That stick. I hope the bloody thing goes. It's going. Going. Go for. Do you like that?
Has it ever gone the wrong way?
No, I did one at Lancaster a month or two back, and so fella I were working for, you see, he didn't tell me the mill next door had a big cellar in it. Anyway, when it went over, you know, with the biggest hole inside of this mill you've ever seen. And about from here to the other side of this studio, bricks all spewed in the cellar. But, you know, he noticed the mill was shut next door anyway, and so he said, I'll brick the hole up. You know, he was just glad to see the end of the chimney so he could build a new housing estate.
Right.
He gave me my money anyway,
So you're all right at the end of the day.
Set off back for Bolton out of way.
Good, so you did. Meanwhile, first of all, let me just say thank you very much for opening our programme, and maybe one day I might go to I won't go to the Traction Engine Rally, but I'll travel with you from pub to pub. Meanwhile, Fred Dimler, thank you very much.
That's very dangerous.